What
Was
do women
mögen
like
Frauen
about
an
men
Männern
and
und
what
was
don't they?
nicht?
The answer to this question is going to surprise you, because 99% of men will never learn what makes a woman really like one man and not another. After I talked with thousands of women for the last 15 years about this very subject, I came to believe that the reason nobody knew this answer is that it's a lot more complicated than it would appear. The truth is, there's no 1, 10, or 20 qualities that all women agree upon in men. Quite the opposite. There are thousands of little things that women like or dislike about men, and every woman is going to set her priorities completely differently based on her experiences and surroundings. Let me give you a couple of examples that show what women might like or dislike about you. In general, this is the key for understanding what women do and don't like. First, her childhood memories. Psychologists and therapists have long understood the first image of a man that a woman sees in childhood is that of her father. Therefore, a woman's father represents what she finds perfect in a man. Not coincidentally, women tend to find men attractive that are similar to their fathers in certain ways, and you'll be surprised how many qualities you probably have in common with the father of a woman that you've been with for a long time. There's an example from couples therapy in which a woman had a father who, though he was very confident and outgoing, didn't treat her very warmly as a child. At the age of 4, he tossed her into the water so she could learn to sink or swim. Not out of dislike, but just because he thought that was the fastest way for her to learn. When she was still a baby, he gave her cold milk because he didn't want to warm it up for her, and he thought she would get over it pretty soon. Even though he loved her, he was never very emotionally close to her. So 25 years later, she suddenly felt herself attracted to a man without understanding why. And then she noticed that some of his characteristics were exactly the same as her father's. He was very confident and social, but didn't really get close to her emotionally. Whenever she told him about her problems, he said something like, "Don't bother me with that stuff. Find a way to solve it instead of whining all the time." Even though that hurt her, at the same time she felt oddly attracted to him without knowing why. This was entirely because of her childhood experiences and her early impressions, and this explains why she was hanging around with a man who was so cold to her. Lots of men think that if they listen to a woman's problems for hours on end and are always nice to her, then they're guaranteed to get her, but they just end up as her best friend instead of her lover. We could talk for hours on that topic, and the best is yet to come. But first, if you've enjoyed this video so far, then please give it a good rating so it can help other men too, and I'll see that I didn't make it in vain. Let's go on to number 2, her current goals. This was made clear to me when I was talking once with a good female friend of mine who happened to be a Playboy model. As we were talking about men, she told me how happy she was not to be dating pretty boys anymore, as she called them. I asked her why, and she told me that she used to be a lot more fixated on a man's appearance, simply because it was fun for her. She was much more shallow. She just wanted to have a little fun. Basically, this doesn't mean that she only looked at appearance. The truth is, appearance is just one of thousands of important qualities. Its emphasis was simply different. But today, and I quote, because she wants to have a longer relationship, other things are many times more important, and she tries to avoid men that look too attractive because she can't be sure they'll be faithful. This way, good looks on men became an afterthought for her, simply because her goals had changed. This doesn't mean that she'd never do anything with a handsome man. What it means is that she's going to be more careful with the good-looking men. He has to essentially make up for his good looks with other attributes and show her with his behavior that he can really be faithful. But let's get to the third, in my opinion, most fascinating point. Qualities that she likes and dislikes at the same time. This is something endlessly fascinating. There's a whole host of attributes that turn women on at the same time, while turning them off as well, simply because they awake some contradicting emotions within her. If a man is, for example, the jealous type, this can be restrictive on the one hand, which she doesn't like, but on the other hand, she feels somewhat protected, which in turn she likes. So she feels somewhat torn because one single quality in a man makes her feel two contradictory feelings. So what exactly brings women to the point that they'll say yes to one man and no to another? 99% of all men will never find this out. And if you want to belong to the 1% that knows exactly what women want, above all, make them want you, then click now on the button that says, "Show me what women like and what they don't," and learn secrets about women and dating that most men will never know. Aside from that, you'll get valuable training videos from me in which you'll learn how to talk to women, get to know them, and start to date them. Click that button now, and we'll see each other on the other side in the full training videos. Till then,